Hey there, in this video, I'm walking you through the full journey of a managed client and their project inside my Freelance Portal Dashboard in Notion. Whether you're new to the dashboard or curious before purchasing, this will give you a real-world example of how it works from first contact to final delivery. Let's say I've started chatting with a potential client about a new project. First thing I'll do is click New Client. This adds a page to the client database. This opens up a sidebar where I can fill in all of the client information I have so far. You can always come back and update this later. I'll add their name and any details I know about them and their business. Notice there's also a follow-up date here. This can be useful for staying on top of potential and returning client relationships. By default, new clients start with a new client status, which you can see reflected in the client management board view. So I've been talking to this client for a while about this potential project, so I'll move their card over to negotiating. This visual workflow helps you see where each client stands at a glance. We've agreed to work together, so I'll move them to active status. Now I can create the actual project page. Now, projects don't always have to be tied to clients. I might have personal projects in here too, but since this one is for a client, I'll connect them to it right from the start. So let's say we've agreed to doing a photo shoot together. I'll type photo shoot as the project title. When I search for and select my client, you can see that their business information automatically populates from the client page, so you don't have to enter that information twice. Feel free to customize these pages for each project. Since this is a photo shoot, I'll change the icon to a camera. Small touches like this can keep your dashboard personal and organized. The project page has a bunch of different properties that I can fill in based on what I know about the scope of the project. In this case, since we've signed contracts and agreed on terms, I'll set the status to onboarding while I start receiving assets from the client. I'll also specify my roles, in this case as photographer and photo editor. This helps clarify responsibilities, especially when you have complex projects with multiple people involved. As you scroll down, you'll see the project page has some essential sections already set up. On the right, there's a space for your project brief and creative direction. You can put your project goals, target audience, notes, and any references or assets the client has shared. So since I can already think of a few project tasks to get me started, I'll click New Project Task 3 times and add those in. Adding due dates helps keep everything on track, but here's what makes this system really useful. These aren't just checklist items. Each task is actually a full page. So when I click on Location Scouting, it opens as its own workspace where I can add maps for potential locations, reference images, notes, resources, everything related to that specific task. So let's say I've done my location scouting and booked everything. I can document the final locations here and then mark the task complete either from this page or back on the main project view. Notice how the task progress bar updates to show 33% complete. That's 1 of 3 tasks done. This progress bar also appears on the main dashboard, so you can see where every project stands from a macro view. Since we're actively working on this project now, I'll move it to the In Progress section. So let's fast forward a bit. I've edited the photos and sent them to the client. They've reviewed everything and sent back some revision notes. Time to change the project status to revisions. Here's where the revision tracking comes in handy. I'll scroll down to the feedback revision log and click New Feedback. This creates a timestamped entry that I can tie to my file versioning system. I'll add the version number, in this case V1, which matches my filing naming structure. Then I'll paste and type in the client's specific notes as a checklist. As I complete each revision, I can check them off. This creates a clear record of what was requested and what was delivered. Revisions are approved. Time to set the project status to final delivery as I send the final assets to the client. Just like the revision log, there's a delivered assets section. I'll create a new entry here and document exactly what was delivered and when. I can add the asset names and embed links to Dropbox, Google Drive, any web URL where the files may be stored. This is useful for future reference. No more searching through emails trying to remember what you sent and when. With delivery complete, I'll move this to invoice sent since I've just submitted my invoice to the client. Once the client pays, I can input those payment details right into the project properties and move the status to paid and complete. Since this project is officially done, I can move it to the archive. which means it cleans up my dashboard while keeping all the project details accessible in the project archive database. A nice detail here is once the project hits final delivery, it automatically appears in the recent projects gallery on your main dashboard page. Now let's circle back to our client. With the project complete, I have a few options for their status. I could set them to follow up or remove the status entirely depending on my workflow preference. I can also update their phase to post-delivery and support or clear it completely until our next interaction. Here's a tip for client retention. I'll set up a follow-up date for 3 months from now and turn on notifications. In 3 months, I'll get an alert to reach out to this client. This is perfect for checking in on project results and exploring future opportunities. And there you have it, a complete client journey from first contact to project completion, all managed within the Freelance Portal Dashboard. I hope this walkthrough gives you a bit more insight in how this can help organize your workflow, giving you more time to focus on your craft. Thanks for watching.